These are my 3-week-old quail hatchlings. They are jumbo cotornics. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing with the 1-week-olds. So the 1-week-olds are in love with making a mess continuously. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to transfer them from paper towels to pine shavings. So I'm putting all these pine shavings in a box, and then I'm going to take the box in the house, and because the hatchlings, of course, are still in the house under the heat lamp, and I'm going to put them on pine shavings. I think we'll keep them a little bit cleaner, a little bit more dry. Next up, I'm going to change their feeding system, and I'm going to use these to feed the hatchlings now. You'll see what I've been using. And I'm going to change up their water system as well, because they're getting to be big babies. They get to graduate to big baby food. So here we are in my pantry, my laundry room, which is also my incubator room. And I've got my brooders in here. So when we hatched out our babies, we hatched out just a little over 60. And we had all 60 in this bin right here, but there were too many of them. So after a few days, I put them in these 2 other brooders. So now we have 60 babies in 3 brooders instead of in 1. I just had one fly out. I'll get them in just a second. But you can see how messy they are. I just cleaned this the day before yesterday. Gave them fresh paper towels. Put down their little plates so that they could have food. And here, you want to see him? He's crying. He's like, help me, I accidentally flew out. He probably flew out because his cage is such a mess. So I'm going to clean it for them because I don't want them being in such a mess. And I'm going to put down the pine shavings, and we'll see how much cleaner it'll be. I'm going to do this for all 3 brooders. Okay, well, here they are in their fresh bedding with their new type of dishes. Now, if you notice their food dish, I didn't put a top on it. Usually it would have a top just like that. And the reason I didn't is because they're still awfully young, and I don't want them to... These birds are silly, and they could climb in the little holes and get themselves stuck. So I'm cautious. I'm just being cautious. They are only 10 days old, and normally I would prefer to wait until they're about 2 weeks old to switch it out, their feeding containers. However, because they are such messy birds, then I've decided to do it a little bit earlier this time. And I don't know if it's because they're a different type of cotornid quail being all white, or if it's just because there's, you know, there are 21 of them in this container. There are 20 in the other 2 each. So I'm not sure. I know that one thing that I've noticed about the white cotornix quail is that they don't hatch on day 16 or 17 even. They tend to hatch on day 18. I've noticed that their feathers have come in very quickly. They were born all yellow, just like their head. And here it is, only day 10, and 10 days old, and they've already got their white feathers. So there are a few differences with this particular color of cotornix quail that I personally have noticed. And this is my first time having a big group of them like this. I think I hatched out maybe 10 or 12 before, but this is a big group of 60. And I'm noticing a few subtle differences. And something else I noticed, when they reach adulthood, they actually are about 2 ounces larger than your regular jumbo cotornix quail. And in my perspective, I think that their eggs are a little bit larger as well, although I haven't weighed them, but to me, in my mind's eye, they look like they're just a little bit bigger. But anyway, these guys have settled in really quickly. They seem to be pretty happy with the new setup. They will totally get their water all messed up with these little wood chips. And once they're just a little bit bigger or more familiar with this setup, then what I tend to do is put a block of wood underneath the water, just so that they don't get as much of the wood chips inside the water. But I don't want to do that just yet. I want them to become familiar with the new watering system, and it was so tiny before, what they had before. But I think they're going to settle into this just fine. I'm very happy with that. So I've got 2 more brooders to do, so I'll get busy to work. Talk to you later.